and welcome to Cheltenham. The weather may be a little gloomy, but spirits are high ahead of day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival. Coming up, some of the Post top tipsters will be advising you on the best bets on the day. These are the races we'll be looking at. Wednesday could well be Ireland's strongest day at the meeting, with reigning champion Chase winner Big Zeb going for back-to-back victories in the race at 3:20. So the big race on Wednesday, the Champion Chase. Here to look at it, I've been joined by Graham Dench and Lee Moddershead. And Lee, just a battle to be going off favourite. We've got reigning champ Big Zeb and dual winner Masterminded.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, it's a 50-50 call to who will start favourite. Could be the same in the race as well. The last 3 winners, or the last 2 winners of the last 3 Champion Chases on Cheltenham, it should be a great clash between them.
And Graham, excellent though they are, they've both come into the race off slightly sort of below par last runs. I mean, Masterminded just beat Summersby. Gold and Silver managed to beat Big Zeb last time.
Yeah, I don't think we saw Masterminded at his best last time. McCoy himself has said that he pressed for home far too soon, really. I think he's better than that form. And again, with Big Zeb, I think he was in front too long there. He was beaten by Gold and Silver, I think, for the first time in 8 meetings. So I suspect that wasn't his form either. But they weren't bad runs by any means, were they? And I wouldn't be concerned about either horse's form.
So going there, say Big Zeb and Masterminded both running up to form, who would you be siding with?
I'm a Masterminded fan, to be honest. I can never get out of my head Big Zeb's former jumping problems. I know he's a lot better now, but I think Mastermind is a really good jumper. Loves Cheltenham. Nobody who was here when he won his first Champion Chase will ever forget the style he won that in. I know he's not that good now, but I still think he's good enough.
So Masterminded the one to beat. Is there one at a bigger price that could cause a surprise, Lee?
I could see Size in Europe running well at a big price if he finds his Arkle form from last season, but I do think the big 2 are the ones to concentrate on, and I'd be on the other side of the fence. I think Masterminded, as Graham says, clearly isn't the horse he once was, and when he was at his best he was sensational, but he's not that anymore. He's a mid-170s horse, which makes him beatable by Big Zeb. And my worry with Mastermind is one of the excuses that came up with last season was the ground was just on the quick side for him. Well, as we speak now, we're looking at a ground that's predominantly good, and I just think he would prefer more digging it to be seen at his best. Big Zeb, I think, is less ground dependent. At his best, he's thoroughly reliable. His jumping now is more dependable. So although to a degree it's a toss of the coin between the 2, I just come down on the Big Zeb side.
Siding with Big Zeb. And Graham, anything sort of at a price for you each way, perhaps?
At a price. No, we ought to mention Summersby, obviously.
Yeah.
He's not exactly at a price, but personally, I think 2 miles is going to be just on the quick side for him, on the sharp side for him. What could win at a price, Lee? What could be running?
Well, Gold and Silver looks like a different horse now that Paul Tannant's sort of riding him a different way. They're sort of just dropping into the race late. Yeah. And if they go at the clappers like they would do in a normal Champion Chase, you could just see him coming through late and pouncing on some of the big guns. The worry is he's never really fired here before. On another track, at a double-figure price, you'd say he'd definitely have a chance. But they are riding him differently, and if that is the key to the horse, again, you wouldn't dismiss him. And also McCoy is pretty sweet on Captain CB if Captain CB delivers his A-game. He's a horse you cannot depend on at all, unlike Big Zeb. But on his day, he's very good. And if he has one of those days, he doesn't bleed, he doesn't perform badly, then again, he's good enough to win what is a winnable Champion Chase.
And what about Mad Max, who was running well here last year?
Yeah, he ran a hell of a race until he made that shocking mistake at the second last. I think Paul Carberry's in for a fun ride on him anyway. I don't see him winning personally. But
okay, so selections then.
Masterminded.
Big Zeb. Yeah. Okay, well thanks guys. More big race previews to come. Let's hear from the couch.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's me Mark Stanley here. What a marvellous backdrop, and I'm not just talking about the marvellous suit I've got on, ladies and gentlemen. There you are, got one, eat your heart out, I've got the best suit on in Cheltenham. We're looking at the handicaps on Wednesday, and the first race we start to look at is the Coral Cup. Now this may look competitive on paper, ladies and gentlemen, but I really only fancy 2 horses. The first one is called Call the Police, or as they say in France, Appelé a Gendarme, trained by Woody Mullins. Been laid out for this race, been very, very good money for this horse anti-post. Of course, Woody had a cracking record in the handicaps last year, 1,000 stars winning the county. I do fancy Call the Police, and also 4 Non-Stop. A horse trained by Nick Williams. Had the unfortunate to come up against the Grand Cru early in the year, and was second to that at Cheltenham. Then ran in the Challow hurdle when he wasn't quite right. Nick Williams' yard got held up with all the snow and ice over Christmas. They're the 2 for me against the field. I'm backing both of them, ladies and gentlemen. No eachy ways. But if you do like a big outsider, and I know some of you like a big one, the one to be on is Straw Bear. Yes, Straw Bear, been novice chasing this year. Been laid out for this race. J. Ping McManus and Nick Gifford. Don't forget the horse was second a few years ago in the Supreme Novice Hurdle at Cheltenham behind Nolan. He's my big price one, but I'll be splitting my stakes, ladies and gentlemen. Call the police and 4 non-stop.
Well, the Coral Cup far too difficult, but Graham Rodway and Johnny Mullen here to look at the RSA. And Graham, it's easy, isn't it? Time for Rupert, one of the bankers of the meeting.
Well, I can't really see time for Rupert being beaten. I mean, you can't grab its form. Everything looks really good. I mean, it's absolutely bolted up here on 2 occasions. Beat Hells Bay, who's come out in frantic form since. The only worry for me is the fact that Paul Webber hasn't run it for quite a while, and obviously it wasn't right for the race of the Pillar race, which it was meant to be running in. So whether it's going to be fully wound up for this race is not guaranteed, because it hasn't had a recent run. I mean, but you've got to trust Webber, you've got to trust that he's going to get it back, and if he has got it at his best, I think it's the one to beat.
Is this time for Rupert's to lose, Johnny?
He's definitely a compelling candidate, and the Hells Bay form has been franked. His most recent win, though, beating Chicago Grey, is not Grade 1 form or anything near it. Chicago Grey goes for the 4 miler tomorrow, but he does seem to be slowly translating his form over hurdles to fences, and he's done it here, which is crucial. But at the price, I would not be interested at all. I think Michael Dagonet, the vibes are increasingly positive from the William Mullen stable. He's had that back injury that kept him off the track for so long, and that does seem to, maybe he's not the most fluent jumper, but he has got a serious engine. I know that Ruby Walsh thought about riding nothing else in the race after doing a bit of work on Michael last week, and I just think at double figures he's more value than Time for Rupert. Very hard knock Time for Rupert out of the frame. He's got a very winning attitude. He's not flashy. Then again, most of us are not, and he gets the job done in a big way. But for me, I think Michael is the one I'd like to go on double figures.
So you'd make him the pick of the Irish Challenge, would you?
Well, Jesse's Dream, Gordon Elliott was never going to put David Johnson in a bad horse, and he took his time before picking up the phone, and he thinks a lot of Jesse's Dream. A very classy horseman trained by William Mullins too, and I'd ignored his form the last day on very heavy ground behind Magnanimity. There mightn't be too much between the two of them on the form of the Drinmore, but I think just that touch of class and the cruising speed around here, I think tilts it in the favour of Michael for me. So I think, as I said, at double figure odds, it's Michael Dagonet for me tomorrow.
So plenty more still to come. We've got Wally Pyra with news of a handicap plot, more tips from the couch, and a nap of the day from our betting editor, Paul Keeley.
Ireland could start the day with favourites for all but 2 of Wednesday's festival tests. Alarmingly, one of those that they'll not have the favourite for is the Weatherby's Champion Bumper, which was formerly an Irish benefit. The problem here, I think, is the good ground, which many of the Irish contenders won't appreciate. However, there are 2 horses who could defy those odds in Punchestown Festival winner Divine Rhapsody and Colin Murphy's horse Raise the Beat. RSA Chase Hope Jesse's Dream also wants a sound service, but does not appear to have the heart of Boston's Angel. He looks the most likely winner of the RSA Chase if it's to come from Ireland. Champion trainer Willie Mullins has chances in the National Hunt Chase and the Neptune, but I don't think he holds the key to either of those races. Could be a quiet day for Willie Mullins. Jessica Harrington looks the most likely Irish winner of the Neptune Novices Hurdle, with Oscars Wells, who has been favourite for the race, anti-post. Now, he has shown plenty of speed and plenty of stamina in his 2 Grade 1s this year, and he is the Raiders' best chance of victory on day 2 of the festival. However, he's probably not the best bet. I'm going to go out on a limb and give the best bet as Sizing Europe. You have to remember that he's still the Arkle Chase winner, regardless of the mess this season has been, and he could put it up to Big Zeb and Captain Seaby and Masterminded.
One of the latest additions to the Cheltenham Festival has been the Fred Winter Novice Handicap Hurdle for 4-year-olds. And what a cracking result it's been for a cracking race for punters over the short term it's been going. One I like here, ladies and gentlemen, are 2 runs in France, and then has had 2 runs for Venetia Williams. The horse is called Tenor Nivernais. The Nestle's last time it ran was 3rd. The horse who was 2nd in that race was an horse called Via Galilei. Yes, the same crew who won at Newbury, and then he went on to finish 2nd in Imperial Cup. That's a cracking run by the 4-year-old taking on the older animals in them races, and I think he's very, very well handicapped horse Tenor Nivernais. Of course, Nicky Henderson will love to win this race because, of course, he used to be assistant trainer to Fred Winter, and he runs 2 in the race. Barry Geraghty stable jockey's chosen Celtus over Titian Desati, suggests to me that Celtus is a stable number 1. And one also must mention from Ireland, ladies and gentlemen, Plan A. Plan A, trained by Gordon Elliott, attempting to give Gordon a winner at Cheltenham. The horse bolted up at Gorham Park on his first run from Gordon, joining from Noel Quinlan. He's a danger from Ireland, but for me, Tenor Nivernay are really good. The handicap, good thing.
Well, the novice hurdlers get their moment in the spotlight at 2:05 with the Neptune investment hurdle. A good race for the Irish, Johnny. You've got Oscars Wells and So Young heading the market.
Yeah, I think it's significant that Nicky Henderson has decided to wait until the Albert Barton on Friday with Bobsworth. The two of them have really good form. Oscars Wells won the Deloitte in Leopardstown, and it's a race that throws up really good horses. And the manner in which he did it over 2 mile 2 suggests that when he steps up in trip for the 2 mile 5 tomorrow, that he will really thrive on that. He's a classy horse. The one doubt would be the ground, and that he's never raced on anything like he'll experience tomorrow. And to that end, So Young, who's a really good mover, and who Willie Mullins considered running in the Supreme Novices today, you'd have to think that So Young would have a really, really good chance. Mullins will have a line through, of course, with Zaidpour as well, so he should know where he stands with Oscars Wells. But outside of the 2 first lieutenant, who cost €250,000 before he won his bumper, he has done nothing wrong. He again won at Leopardstown, a good grade 2, and he'll probably be in the shake-up as well. But I just think So Young has shown so much class over 2 miles and over 2.5 that he might have Oscars Wells measured tomorrow.
Okay, and Graham, where would you be looking for the value?
Well, when I first looked at this race, I thought Oscars Well was going to be very difficult to beat. I watched that race at Leopardstown, cruised all the way through it and won it impressively. The problem is that the ground's gone, and as John says, is it going to act on it? We don't really know. The one that I think the money's been coming for is First Lieutenant, and that's quite interesting. I know Tom Siegel's been pretty strong on it on the phone to us, and that's always a good sign. I don't know if that horse is going to be quite good enough, but I think it will like the ground. For me, the race is a bit up in the air. I think it will go to one of the Irish horses. I think it will go to one of So Young, Oscars Well, or First Lieutenant. I just can't decide between them.
If I had to narrow you to one, which would it be?
I think Oscars Well still got the best form, and you've got to stick with that, especially as So Young is a shorter price, but he's not achieved anywhere near what Oscars Well has achieved. Oscars Well has already won 2 Grade 1s.
And for you, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with Graham. Oscars Well has the best form in the book, and coming from the Jessica Harrington yard will probably be underestimated tomorrow, and could be, could go to 5-1 maybe. It could be an each way price. So Young, on the other hand, because of his connections, will go the other way. So maybe Oscars Wells will be the bet tomorrow, but I do think So Young will probably end up in the better of the two of them.
Okay, well, thanks, guys. Time for some more tips now from our RPR guru, starting with Steve Mason.
Lightly raced and progressive sorts, Call the Police, the G and Dawn, and for Non-Stop, understandably dominate the market for the Coral Cup. And a success for any of the trio wouldn't be a surprise, but there's a good reason for thinking that the veteran Arcalis can spring a surprise. Since he won the Supreme Novices in 2005, he's been back to this meeting 4 more times and always run well, most recently when finishing second to 1,000 Stars in last year's County Hurdle. He subsequently went on to finish 3rd to Overturn at Ayr, again giving the impression that he'll be suited by today's step-up in trip, and at around about the 25-1 mark, he looks a good each-way option.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. One of the big betting heats of the festival, of course, is the bumper. Absolutely marvellous. Now, ever since the bumper's been run, the Irish have had a stranglehold on this event, a bit like my missus on my wallet. But this year's going to be different. This year, I think the English are going to win it. Oh, don't shoot me down in flames, ladies and gentlemen. I've been told categorically that the Irish are sending the worst team of bumper horses over. You wait and see now. It'll be 1, 2, 3, the Irish. But the English horse, Knight's Pass of Warren Gatrix, is very impressive in a couple of runs. Done a tremendous racecourse gallop the other day at Newbury. Really impressed people. Knight's Pass, a definite favourite. And of course, we did win it last year with Q-Card, ladies and gentlemen. Knight's Pass got a great chance. Nicky Henderson really has runners in this race, but Eric is his runner this year. Won very, very well at Newbury the other day. Looks a real tough street fighting animal. I'm sure he'll run a big race, Eric. But also going for a massive price, ladies and gentlemen, is trained by Hughie Morrison. A horse called Cousin Key, spelled Khee. Bolted up first time at Exeter in a race Woody's won before. Was then found to be wrong when he ran at Cheltenham last time. He's around the 33-1 mark, ladies and gentlemen. A working couch's prices. If you'll see it running up the Cheltenham Hill, you'll see me running alongside it, but not nearly as fast. Cousin Key, ladies and gentlemen, the double carpet selection for the bumper. This time it's one for the English.
A plot is being hatched in the Fred Winter Handicap Hurdle on Wednesday. The name of the horse is Paintball. Don't miss this name. Now, this horse has run 3 times, won a little Mickey Mouse race, one of the gaff courses the last time it ran. It should be on form. It should really be a 25-to-1 shot. What price is it? 10-to-1. Charlie Longston, his horses are in top form. He's got a prime booking of Richard Johnson. This is the horse to splash the cash. Don't forget the name, Paintball.
So that's all for today. Good luck whatever you're on. All the selections just up on your screen now. Remember, you can bet direct with William Hill if you're watching this on your phone using our app, or with all the major bookmakers on racingpost.com. Just time now, as ever, to leave you with Paul Keeley and his nap of the day.
Champion Chase is the feature race on the second day of the Cheltenham Festival, and I'm banking on Summersby to give Henrietta Knight a win in the big one. I think this horse is a terrific each-way bet. He comes into the race off a career best, and he ran career best at the last 2 Cheltenham Festivals, running 3rd in the Supreme Novices Hurdle and then 2nd in the Arkle. He's a proper Cheltenham horse, and I think he'll fly up the hill.